Topics covered: 1. Security Governance Standard and Control Frameworks. 2. Impact of laws and regulations in cybersecurity. 3. Intellectual property. 4. GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. Security Governance Standard and Control Frameworks. Several security governance standards and control frameworks are widely used by organizations to establish and maintain effective information security practices. These frameworks provide guidelines, best practices, and control mechanisms to help organizations design, implement, and manage their security programs. Here are some prominent security governance standards and control frameworks. ISO, IEC 27001 and 27002. 1. ISO, IEC 27001. This standard provides the requirements for establishing, implementing, maintaining, and continually improving an information security management system, ISMS. It involves risk assessment, control implementation, and ongoing management of security controls. ISO IEC 27002. This code of practice provides detailed security controls and guidelines for information security management based on the ISO IEC 27001 standard. NIST Cybersecurity Framework. 1. Developed by the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, this framework provides guidelines for organizations to manage and reduce cybersecurity risk. It consists of 5 core functions: identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. COBIT, control objectives for information and related technologies. 1. COBIT is a framework developed by ISACA that focuses on the governance and management of information and technology. 1. It provides control objectives, processes, and metrics to align IT with business goals and ensure effective risk management. CISSP controls. 1. The Center for Internet Security, CISSP, controls is a prioritized set of actions designed to improve an organization's cybersecurity posture. 1. These controls cover a wide range of security areas and provide guidance on implementing effective security practices. ITIL, Information Technology Infrastructure Library. 1. ITIL is a set of practices for IT service management that includes security practices. 1. It provides a framework for organizing and managing IT services to align with the needs of the business. 1. ISF Standard of Good Practice, the standard. Developed by the Information Security Forum, ISF, the standard provides a comprehensive set of controls and best practices for managing information security risks. It covers various aspects of security, including governance, risk management, and compliance. Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCI-DSS. 1. PCI-DSS is a standard designed to ensure the secure handling of payment card information. 1. It outlines security requirements for organizations that process, store, or transmit payment card data. Federal Risk and Authorization Management Program, FedRAMP. 1. FedRAMP is a U.S. government program that standardizes the security assessment, authorization, and continuous monitoring processes for cloud products and services used by federal agencies. These frameworks and standards offer organizations a structured approach to developing and maintaining robust security governance practices. Organizations often select and customize these frameworks based on their specific industry, regulatory requirements, and risk management needs. Impact of laws and regulations in cybersecurity. Laws and regulations play a significant role in shaping the landscape of cybersecurity. They establish legal requirements, standards, and guidelines that organizations and individuals must follow to ensure the security and privacy of digital systems, data, and networks. The impact of laws and regulations in cybersecurity can be seen in several ways. Mandatory compliance. Laws and regulations often require organizations to implement specific security measures and practices. Failure to comply can result in legal consequences, including fines and penalties. For example, the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, imposes strict data protection requirements on organizations handling personal data of European Union residents. Data protection and privacy. laws and regulations focus on protecting individuals' personal and sensitive information. They establish rules for collecting, processing, storing, and transmitting data. Organizations are required to obtain informed consent, implement data breach notification processes, and provide individuals with rights over their data. Reporting and disclosure. Many regulations mandate that organizations report security breaches and incidents to relevant authorities and affected individuals within specific timeframes. This ensures transparency and helps affected parties take necessary actions to protect themselves. Risk management. Laws and regulations often require organizations to conduct risk assessments and implement appropriate security controls to mitigate identified risks. This encourages proactive security practices and helps prevent data breaches and cyber attacks. Industry standards. Regulations may incorporate industry-recognized standards and best practices. Organizations are encouraged to adopt these standards to ensure compliance and maintain a strong security posture. Cross-border impact. In a globally connected world, laws and regulations can have international implications. Organizations operating across borders need to navigate different legal requirements and data protection laws in various jurisdictions. Liability and accountability. Laws and regulations define liability and accountability for security breaches. Organizations can be held responsible for damages resulting from inadequate security practices. This incentivizes organizations to invest in robust cybersecurity measures. Consumer trust. Compliance with cybersecurity laws and regulations helps build consumer trust. When individuals know that their data is being handled responsibly and securely, they are more likely to engage with organizations. Government surveillance. Some regulations also address government surveillance and ensure that individuals' privacy rights are protected from undue surveillance by state actors. International trade and business relations. Organizations operating globally need to comply with the cybersecurity regulations of the countries they do business with. Non-compliance can impact business relationships and international trade. In summary, laws and regulations in cybersecurity have a profound impact on how organizations manage their information security practices. They create a legal framework that emphasizes the importance of protecting data, managing risks, and ensuring the overall security of digital ecosystems. Intellectual property. Intellectual property, IP, refers to creations of the mind, such as inventions, literary and artistic works, designs, symbols, names, and images used in commerce. Intellectual property is protected by law through patents, copyrights, trademarks, and trade secrets, which enable creators to control how their creations are used, distributed, and monetized. The protection of intellectual property rights encourages innovation, creativity, and the development of new ideas. There are several categories of intellectual property. Patents. Patents grant inventors exclusive rights to their inventions for a limited period, usually 20 years from the filing date. Patents cover new and useful inventions, processes, machines, or improvements to existing inventions. They provide the right to prevent others from making, using, selling, or importing the patented invention without permission. Copyrights. Copyrights protect original creative works, such as literary, artistic, and musical creations, software, and other forms of expression. Copyright holders have the exclusive right to reproduce, distribute, perform, display, and create derivative works based on their creations. Copyright protection is automatic upon the creation of the work and lasts for the life of the creator plus a certain number of years. Trademarks. Trademarks protect symbols, names, logos, and other identifiers that distinguish goods or services from those of others. Trademarks provide consumers with a way to identify and associate products or services with a specific source. Trademark rights can be maintained indefinitely as long as the mark is used in commerce and is properly protected. Trade secrets. Trade secrets include valuable business information that is not generally known and provides an advantage over competitors. Examples of trade secrets include customer lists, manufacturing processes, formulas, and proprietary technology. Unlike patents, copyrights, and trademarks, trade secrets are protected as long as they remain confidential. Industrial designs. Industrial designs protect the visual design of objects, such as the shape, configuration, ornamentation, or pattern applied to a product. Industrial designs are often used to protect the appearance of consumer products, such as furniture, electronics, and packaging. Intellectual property rights enable creators, inventors, and innovators to protect their creations, invest in further research and development, and profit from their efforts. These rights also foster competition, encourage innovation, and contribute to economic growth. However, the balance between protecting intellectual property and promoting open access to information and innovation is an ongoing and complex discussion. Different jurisdictions have varying laws and regulations governing intellectual property, and organizations must navigate these regulations to safeguard their creations and ideas. GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. The General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, is a comprehensive data protection and privacy regulation that came into effect on May 25, 2018, within the European Union, EU, and the European Economic Area, EEA. The GDPR replaces the Data Protection Directive of 1995 and aims to harmonize data protection laws across the EU member states while giving individuals more control over their personal data and how it is collected, processed, and used. The GDPR applies to organizations that process the personal data of EU citizens, regardless of where those organizations are located. Key features and principles of the GDPR include: territorial scope. The GDPR applies to organizations that process personal data of individuals located in the EU, regardless of the organization's location. It also applies to organizations outside the EU that offer goods or services to EU residents or monitor their behavior. Consent. Consent to process personal data must be freely given, specific, informed, and unambiguous. Individuals have the right to withdraw consent at any time. Data subject rights. The GDPR grants individuals various rights over their personal data, including the right to access, rectify, erase, right to be forgotten, restrict processing, data portability, and object to processing. Data Protection Officer, DPO. Organizations processing certain types of personal data are required to appoint a Data Protection Officer to oversee data protection compliance. Data breach notification. Organizations must notify the appropriate supervisory authority and affected individuals within 72 hours of discovering a data breach that poses a risk to individuals' rights and freedoms. Privacy by design and default. Organizations must implement measures to ensure that data protection principles are integrated into systems, processes, and products from the outset. Accountability. Organizations are responsible for demonstrating compliance with the GDPR's principles. This includes maintaining records of data processing activities and conducting data protection impact assessments for high-risk processing activities. Cross-border data transfers. Data transfers to countries outside the EU are subject to specific requirements, such as using standard contractual clauses or relying on adequacy decisions. Fines and penalties. Non-compliance with the GDPR can result in significant fines, which can be up to 4% of annual global turnover or €20 million, whichever is higher. One-stop-shop mechanism. Organizations that operate in multiple EU member states have a lead supervisory authority in the member state where they have their main establishment. The GDPR has had a global impact, influencing data protection laws and regulations in other jurisdictions. It places a strong emphasis on individual privacy rights and encourages organizations to implement robust data protection measures. Organizations subject to the GDPR are required to adopt measures that protect individuals' personal data and ensure transparency and accountability in data processing activities. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe.